Okay, so we're going to look at inequalities and we're going to look at solving inequalities. So before we do so, we need to know what inequalities are. So our first one is less than. So your less than sign is something like this. The way you're going to remember that is it's like an L. It's like less than. Okay, so if our next one is greater than sign is going to go the opposite way. Less than or equal to will have the less than sign and the equal, just half of an equals underneath it, and then greater than or equal to will be like this. So if we're talking about x is less than 4, so we'll use 4 as our number just for example. So x is less than 4, so that's going to be x equals 3, 2, 1, 0, minus 1, and so on. It obviously doesn't include 4 because it's less than 4. If x is greater than 4, that's going to be 5, so x equals 5, 6, 7, and so on. You get the drift. If x is less than or equal to 4, that's going to x is equal to 4, 5, 6, or less than, sorry, 4, 3, 2, 1, and so on. We obviously include the 4 because the equal to means that's inclusive of 4 as well. And then if x is greater than or equal to 4, so that way we go, so x is, so we'd include 4, 5, 6, 7 because they're bigger than 4. So these signs here that we have there, they're all our inequality signs. So you'll need to know which is less than, which is greater than, what does it mean if it's less than or equal to, and so on. And then from there, what you'll be doing is you will be solving inequalities. So it's really like solving linear equations. We know that we get our x's to our left hand side, our numbers to our right hand side. What we have to do, so this little side or this little line here is important. Treat your inequality sign just as you would your equals. So if a plus crosses your inequality sign, just like a plus crossing an equals, it will become minus number. Obviously don't draw your inequality sign as an equals, keep it as the actual inequality sign. Another thing you must be really aware of is that you can't have a negative x on an inequality. And we'll see the example of this in example 2. If you do, you have to change the signs, so your minus x will become x. If your inequality was L less than, it would actually become greater than, and so on. But we'll do an example that's what makes more sense in a second. So we look at example 1 here. So solve 3x minus 4 less than 2 on x minus 1, where x is an element of the natural numbers. So we'll talk about the different types of numbers, so your natural, your real, your integers, in the next tutorial, but for the moment we're just going to do the solving of the inequality. So our step 1, it says here, simplify if necessary, and it is necessary for us to simplify here because the 2 has to multiply into that bracket. So we'll just go, so the left hand side hasn't changed, so 3x minus 4 is less than 2x minus 2. So get your x's to the left hand side then. So okay, we have 2x's, so we have our 3x and then our 2x. We said that we treat our inequality just like we would an equal. So if the plus 2x goes across to the left hand side, it's going to become minus 2x is less than. So again, our minus 4 is going to come across that inequality, so that's going to come over and become a plus, so we'll have minus 2 plus 4. So that will leave us with 1x, or x is less than minus 2 plus 4 would be 2. And that's your answer. So instead, it's virtually the same, except instead of an equals, we just have our less than sign. And it's solved from there. In the next tutorial, I'll be showing you how you graph these, because when you're given an inequality in your exam papers, you are asked to graph it as well on the number line. So just look at example 2 over here. So solve minus 4x minus 6 is greater than 6 when x is a real number, is an element of the real numbers. So first thing, can we simplify? Not really at the minute. There's no multiplication of our brackets or anything like that. So then our next thing is to get our x's to the left hand side. So we keep our minus 4x over here. And then our inequality, so greater than 6, that minus 6 comes across, so it becomes plus 6. Okay, so that will give us, we just tidy that up, minus 4x is greater than 12. Okay, remember this rule here, we said that you can't have a negative x. So if we end up with a negative x, we have to change all the signs. So we have ended up with a negative x. We have a negative 4x here, so we can't have that. So this is one of the most important rules here. So instead of having a negative number, if that can't be negative, it means we have to change it to a positive. We must change the signs of everything then across, which includes the inequality. So we have to reverse the sign of the inequality. So the greater than equality now becomes a less than inequality, and plus 12 becomes minus 12. So now we want to find x, so our 4 and our x are multiplying by each other, so when our x crosses our equals, our inequality, it becomes a divisor. So we have x is less than minus 3. And that's our inequality solved. So just watch this video as many times as you need to in order to understand your inequalities perfectly. So it's solving linear inequalities. Your inequality signs are over here on the right hand side. Remember the important piece of information and your steps to follow.